You did mention that it's not a requirement to do a standardized test in order to get into an LLM program, but there are some other important parts of the application process that students should be thinking about early on. One of those is a personal statement. So can you talk to us a little bit about a good recipe for a personal statement?
Sure. So with the personal statement, it's really an opportunity for applicants to give us and share information that we can't otherwise find in the application components. So within an application, I will see your transcripts. Your transcripts will tell me what you've studied, your area of interest. I will also get a copy of your CV or resume, and that will tell me what you've been doing working within the field, whether or not it's internships or full-time employment. So with the personal statement, what I'm looking for is filling in the gaps. Connect the dots between what you've been studying, what you have been doing professionally, and where you would like to go. So give me a sense of your story and tell me about how you took that one class that then sparked an interest in a particular area that led to an internship, delving further within that area. And especially if you're applying to a specialized program, use that as leverage to be able to say, and this is why I'm applying for your specialized LLM in XYZ. And so with the personal statement, it's very helpful to cater it towards the program that you're applying for. So realistically, I'm not going to see the personal statement that goes out to the 5-10 schools that you're applying for. So you can certainly have the same structure where you've connected the dots in many different ways. But I would tweak that personal statement so it's actually going through and spelling out why you'd be a best fit for Pepperdine, for example. So if you've taken courses in our specialized LLM program, talk about how you've done that and how it led to an internship and how it led to why you're applying to our particular program and what you hope to do afterwards. So with the personal statement, it's really a unique opportunity to be able to tell us that story, give us a sense of your motivations, your career aspirations. What I would recommend you not do, and which I tend to see, is for one, make sure you proofread. There are still personal statements that I will see where the student is spelling it all out and how it's going to be the best fit, but they're indicating another university. Oh, no. So if you're going through the effort to personalize it, then go through the double effort to proofread it, because that makes the decision easier for me, but it's probably not the decision that the applicant that wants. Right. So going through and double checking your work is one. The second recommendation of what I don't like to see is legalese. Some people look at the personal statement as an opportunity to show that they are capable of academic writing and will actually write a very thorough journal article per se type of writing where they're using that as a personal statement. Again, if you're doing that and there's too much legalese in the personal statement, you've missed the target in regards to telling me your story, telling me how it's a good fit, telling me your motivations and your career aspirations. If you want to establish yourself as an written academic, then give me a writing sample. And I will actually go through and look at your writing that way rather than using the personal statement.
Got it. That's really good to know. Thank you for that. Now, one other part of the application process is getting a letter of recommendation, or more than one sometimes. Do you have any good tips on how to go about those?
Sure. There's no one recipe when it comes to perfect letters of recommendations should include this, because realistically it depends on the applicant. And it depends on what the applicant is doing and what story they have to tell. So for an applicant that's coming in straight out of an LLB, I'm going to have different expectations on what I'm going to see as letters of recommendation versus someone who's been in the field for 20, 25 years. So it's, again, I would think about what story you're looking at telling, because letters of recommendation can be a very useful tool when it comes to shading your story, in the sense of if you want to be able to say that you have a specific interest in a particular field, you're applying in for an environmental law program, then you're getting a letter of recommendation from that faculty member that you happen to take and did really well in, but it was in a topic area of environmental law. So that one letter of recommendation will show us what you're like in the classroom, that you were a good student, but also that you have a specific interest in the field and that you have a relationship with that faculty member and kind of know what you're getting into. So think about what other stories can be told through those letters of recommendation. And I always recommend that applicants choose a variety so that they are able to provide a well-rounded perspective on who they are as an applicant. So get one from a faculty member, get one from that supervisor of an internship. Depending on what programs they're applying for, I like to see letters of recommendation for people that are already working in the field in this area similar to what they're looking at doing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, I'm a dispute resolution program. So if they know someone who's a mediator, they know someone who is an arbitrator, and they talk to them and they can talk about their potential in the field, that for me is very helpful because it gives me a sense of a professional in the field that's doing what we teach,
Mm-hmm.
how they view that particular applicant and their potential within the field, but it also tells me that the applicant is going out of their way to network and meet with others that are working within the field, so they know their specific direction. They are able to connect with someone that's been doing what they are hoping to do after they graduate from the LLM program, so they know what they're getting into.
Right.
So having letters of recommendation that can talk about their potential can also be very helpful. I would just be very careful on who you're choosing for that. Oh, and if you have someone that you know that's an alum, brownie points, because to have a letter of recommendation from someone that's been through the program, that knows what the program requires, is super helpful when we have a personal recommendation of someone that we actually know, because we also can call them and actually get more information.
Right.
But alumni are super helpful as well. But again, depends on the applicant, depends on what they're looking at communicating.
Okay, good to know.